together in '96, and what we learned to play against an international side was just fantastic.
Okay, Frankie, well, as you see, the team's certainly Samoa out, so it's time to join our commentary team, and they are Jim Glennon and, first of all, George Hamilton.
Thank you, Joanne. Yes, it is indeed a delight to be in Galway on a night when the rain isn't sheeting down and the breeze has died. It is just that little bit chilly, but it's perfect underfoot for what should be a very entertaining game. There's the Samoan team. You might watch out for Pesamino at full back. He was the top try scorer in the most recent World Sevens, and a man who knows sure how to run and score the tries. And captaining him tonight, Poluleluligaga, also go to the top 10 point scorers in the Sevens. They're great exponents of Sevens, the Samoans, and several of the names to watch there. The Connacht team, well, young lads involved there, and several of them making their seasonal debuts or indeed their first competitive outings. We're looking at Owen McKeon in the back row there, looking to Owen Griffin. He's getting his chance in the middle. A Barna lad, just 20 years of age, and a seasonal debut on the wing for Tuohy, the Ireland Sevens winger as well. It's a Connacht team that doesn't bear too much resemblance to the one that plays in the Amlin Challenge Cup and in the Magners League, and captained tonight by Flavin. And on the bench, though, John Muldoon there, released from the Irish squad, training to get a bit of game time, and he's on the bench. Just suppose, Jim, it's a question of when they bring him on.
Exactly, George. I was speaking to one of the Connacht lads before the game, and I said, will you be bringing Muldoon on after 10 or 15? And they said, well, we'd love to, but we'll have to wait and see what the injury situation is. Certainly he will be a very good card to play from the bench. I'd expect to see him coming in certainly early in the second half, because I think this young Connacht side is going to have their work cut out. If the Samoan side are true to form and true to their traditions in terms of, as you say, running the ball 7 style, but at the same time putting in the huge hits and the big defensive tackles, it's going to take a lot out of this young Connacht side.
Well, the referee tonight is John Lacey from Munster, new Heineken Cup referee this season, former Shannon and Munster full back, and an Ireland A international this time back in the 90s. The Samoans start, and the ball immediately possession with Connacht, playing right to left of their green. Straight down the middle by Nikora, the standoff, gathered in by Pesamino, we mentioned, and his kick into the corner. And the mark called the free kick for Nikora inside 22. Irish officials for this match running the line: Dudley Phillips from Leinster and Michael Black from Ulster, St Mary's and City of Derryben, respectively.
Yeah, it's a beautiful, absolutely perfect night for rugby, George. The surface is couldn't be more favourable. Just a nice little bit of give on the top. No breeze, which anybody who knows the sports ground will be very surprised to hear, and it's a beautiful, crisp evening.
Throw to come from Paulo, the Samoan hooker. They punched it up, and it's taken at the front there by their second row, Chad Slade. Plays his rugby with Exeter in England. Well, it's quite an Irish colony at the moment. Taken on there by Timoteo. Connacht being forced to defend. Picked out again by Timoteo. Close quarter stuff for the team we know like to run the ball. And now maybe an opportunity through the hands of Daniel Leo. But again, they're taking it in tight. Chad Slade. The close quarters control with the Samoans. Daniel Leo again. Giant of a man. And now with the number 8, Muagututia. This time it's Mulipola on the Connacht 10-metre line. Ball picked out there by Otto. Wing trying to run it. Connacht trying to turn it over. Unsuccessfully. Picked out there by Otto. And through the hands of Louis, the out half and captain tonight. Put down by Owen McKeon. Untidy ball came out there, and it came out illegally. It played with the hand on the ground, and the first penalty of the evening, and a bit of relief for Connacht after 2.5 minutes of non-stop possession for Samoa.
Yeah, an impressive start there, George. Samoa doing something that they're not exactly renowned for, comfortably retaining possession. Okay, at the very end, after several phases, there was an illegal feedback, but uncharacteristic, but at the same time impressive.
Ball dispatched by the Connacht full back, Troy Nathan. And their line out, obviously off the penalty. And the captain tonight is their hooker, Adrian Flavin. 2 tries in Connacht colours this season. Right to the back and comfortably taken, and now in the hands of Killian Willis. And offloaded to Brian Tuohy. And Willis picks out once more. Taken on here by Bernie Upton. And Willis dispossessed by his old man Flavin. Up to the Samoan 22. Little dart by Willis. No way through. No question protecting the possession here. And taken on in close quarters once more. Willis waits. That's the forwards' task at the moment. And it's Connacht who are penalised despite the scrum half's appeals.
Yeah, they were dispossessed there too in that maul, and rather easily so. But again, similar to Samoa a few minutes ago, they put together a few good carries there, and it'll help them settle into the game. It is a very young Connacht side.
That's Troy Nathan, who's not one of the younger ones, 27 today, and that's a superb kick. Just putting the Samoans on the back foot. Otto up the line. Taken there by Nikora. And a chance to run back at Samoa. And they're in touch. It was Shane Monahan in from the right wing. New this season from Blackrock into the interprovincial lineup, professional rugby, and his first burst on the opposite wing. Well, won by Connacht, but stolen back by Lemalu. Through the hands as far as Slade, the second row. And through Louis, off they go once more. This is Setu. Centre, 3/4. Off they go with Paulo. And who opened up again, Louis. Taken on by Daniel Leo. The second row seeing a lot of ball in hand. This now is the left wing, Sinoti. Comfortable retention of possession by Samoa, but that go forward it did. Advantage to Connacht. It'll be a scrum, the first of the evening.
Yeah, both sides feeling their way into the game, as it were. No huge urgency involved, just concentrating on ball retention. Interesting, some would say that this is probably the way that Ireland should have started last Saturday against the Springboks, but the Samoans have been quite impressive in their ball skills and in their retention. Connacht defence line up very flat, and a few handling mistakes have led to the breakdowns from both sides, which is only understandable in the first few minutes of the game.
First scrum of the evening. Samoans renowned for being physical, the way they tackle, the hits they put in. Connacht comfortable in this scrum. And then just the wheel as Willis picks it out. And swiftly transferred along the line, and now on Griffin. Griffin at the bottom of that. Willis waits to see how they're aligned, missing out McComish, going instead for old McKeon. And it's now the turn of the Connacht back row, but they've lost it to the opposite number, Selesele. Samoa's scrum half, Poluleluligaga, swiftly on to Daniel Leo. And taken on by the prop Mulipola. It really is 15-man rugby from the Samoans. Setu. Must stay on side.
No hands, green, let it go. Push back, please.
Samoa seeking the hard yards and succeeding and inching ever closer to that Connacht line.
Back foot, green, three. Push back.
Poluleluligaga on then for Leo. Poluleluligaga again, it's advantage Samoa. Well, they spurn the opportunity of a drop, but Golden Crown spin it all the way, but a good tackle by Brian Tuohy ends it, which means that the advantage has come to nothing, so it's a penalty to Samoa for offside.
Yeah, good defence there by Connacht. Unfortunately, the advantage had been conceded. The penalty had been conceded there earlier. Interesting that for all their apparent casualness in retaining possession, as soon as the Samoans got the sniff of an opportunity, they went up through the gears very, very quickly. And their two second rows, as you mentioned, George, very busy so far. Chad Slade and Daniel Leo, they're carrying at every opportunity. They're straightening up. They're taking on the defence and giving it back. Now, if that's the game that they're going to continue to play, I don't see certainly one of them will be on the bench sometime in the second half. But it's a very physically demanding game that they've started with in the first 10 minutes.
And they've got the first points through their standoff Poluleluligaga. So it's Connacht 0, Samoa 3. The restart from Maya Nikora. Advantage this time to Connacht. The ball went forward. Can they take any? That's the question. Willis now with Monahan. Willis directing, organising, picking out, and then fired inside for Paulo. Kiwi prop for Connacht. The advantage has been called over by referee Lacey. Willis, and now taken on by Bernie Upton, popping up in the centre from the second row. Willis, Nikora, swallowed up there for Willis again though. On through Troy Nathan. Nathan, a little kick into the corner, just going to roll into touch. A good idea, but just didn't quite come off for the birthday boy. But nonetheless, there's a line out for Samoa to take it. Connacht have already shown they can win on Samoan throw. Yeah,
nice little grubber through there from Maya Nikora, but unfortunately not good enough to retain possession from the line-out. But as you say, George, Connacht have already had one turnover in the line-out. A second one here would be very timely.
Stay inside the 15, 7.
Not this time though.
Inside the 5,
Connacht matching power with power. The ball out and swept away by Poluleluligaga.
There'll be a lot of Connacht interest tonight, George, on their new tight head, the New Zealander Sealy. The whole proposition in Irish rugby is one for much debate at the moment, A, with the injury rate, and B, with the requirement to have adequate replacements to compete in Europe. And this is a young guy who was signed for a year and a half for Connacht, which is longer than any of his colleagues. And it would be fascinating to see the early signs of whether it's money well spent.
That line-out won by Ezra Taylor, the Wallaby number 8 for Connacht. Gives the opportunity to drive a wedge at the Samoan defence. And then Nikora for the hands. Oh, great burst. Terrific, just knocked on by Monahan. How frustrating was that? But a great burst by Connacht and a chance to see what they might be capable of.
Yeah, certainly Nikora showed his mettle there, and just looking here, I think that pass may have been slightly forward anyway to Shane Monahan. But Monahan has made his presence felt on more than one occasion. He's a big, strong lad, and could well have a real future. He moved down here from Blackrock last year.
Touch. Pause. Engage.
Samoa put in, Connacht shove, Connacht wheel. Poluleluligaga away with the ball.
Pause. Stay back, foot green. That's fine. Hold.
He took a chance. Monahan fields it. Infield for Nathan. The big pass out then to Griffin. Oh, and Griffin just 20 years of age. Big lad from Barna. Taken on now by Ronan Loughney. Willis. Nikora. Taken on by McKeon. And a burst by McComish. And the back row to the fore here now. Willis was there, but they didn't leave it for him. Now he has it. This time it's Poluleluligaga. Willis waits. Nikora through the hands. Wynne. And through Nathan to Griffin. Can he make it to the corner? Griffin trying to dance away into that corner there. Unfortunately had to take the pass standing still. But Connacht still in possession. Killian Willis trying to worm away through. He's almost at the line.
In the side, two.
Advantage to Connacht.
Two blue offside advantage. No.
So there's a penalty coming for Connacht. They can't make anything of it.
Two blue, no advantage.
They couldn't.
In the side.
Paulo, the hooker of Samoa, didn't come in the gate.
No advantage, two in the side.
And Connacht stopped at the line, have a penalty now and a chance to level the scores.
That was great build-up there from Connacht, and they probably deserve a three-pointer after that. Some excellent retention and probing down both sides of the park. Unfortunately, the final pass on Griffin wasn't the best. He had to come in off the wing, and didn't quite make it. And then we had the spectacle of probably the smallest man on the pitch, Killian Willis, taking on the Samoan second row, and as you said, try to worm his way through. But certainly Connacht have now hopefully set into something of a rhythm, and are beginning to stretch the Samoan side on both sides of the pitch.
Nikora then, their New Zealand born out half, international at schools, under 19 and under 21 level for the All Blacks. Struck sweetly and sheared home. It's 3 apiece. The man who normally wears the number 10 for Connacht, and Keatley is most prolific with the boot, but Nikora showing that in his stead tonight he can be just the same.
Yeah, I was watching Nikora in the warm-up about an hour before the game, and he was really striking it absolutely sweetly. Beautiful kick in action, and again, as I said earlier, on the night that's in it, there isn't a breath of wind. It's perfect conditions for a kicker.
The restart gathered in by Upton. Willis. Oh, he lost it forward there. As he went to pick it out, it slipped from his grasp, so the scrum has been awarded to Samoa.
I think Killian Willis is very unlucky there. I'd like to see it again, whether he did actually knock it forward or not. But either way, Connacht will have taken great encouragement from the last 5 or 10 minutes or so. They richly deserved the 3 points, and it was the reward for some very good positive play by them. Certainly the best play we've seen so far.
Pause. Engage. Hold.
Well, that's gone down. And we cannot forget that this is a relatively inexperienced Connacht team with the 20-year-old Griffin in the centre. Tuohy on the wing making his seasonal debut. A couple of competitive debuts too. And in against whatever about the strength of this Samoan team, it is an international team nonetheless. All out untidily. And it's now with Helleur. Good driving by Connacht to push Sinoti back. Samoa still on the charge. Setu at the bottom of that. Poluleluligaga. There's an advantage here to Samoa. Hooker and Captain Flavin was offside.
Advantage blue, 2 offside.
Taken on by Slade. Still advantage being played to Samoa. Poluleluligaga, Timoteo. They have yet to cross the gain line though. Loughney and the forward pass. So that was the end of the advantage, which was no advantage. So it's a penalty to Samoa.
Adrian Flavin, the Connacht hooker and captain, being caught there, and no advantage accruing to Samoa. So it'll be interesting to see now if they have a go at goal or perhaps kick into the corner. They seem to be having some thought about it, and indeed kicking into the corner.
Interesting that Louis, who is the captain of that side of the night, seemed to be the one who was, even though he was taking the kick, was prepared to take instruction as to where his teammates wanted it. And they said, stick it in the corner, we'll see what we do with the line out.
Might be afraid of his forwards, George. Doesn't want to annoy them.
So they've gone for the shortened version this time and command it with ease. Poluleluligaga, there's Lua. On to Setu. Who's the other side this time, Daniel Leo. Oh, good burst by Poluleluligaga, nuts inside. And there's the first try. Samoa hit the front. Timoteo bursting through. First try of the evening to the flank forward, Miseoka Timoteo. Burst by the scrum half, Poluleluligaga, and taken on by Timoteo to touch it down.
Yeah, a well-worked try there, and certainly the Connacht defence with questions to be answered. Timoteo took a very good line coming in, back in against the defence, but he saw that there was a real hole there, and straight through it he went.
Timoteo getting the first touchdown of the evening, and Louis stroking home the extras. It's Connacht 3, Samoa 10.
Yeah, that throws the gauntlet down now, really, to Connacht, having perhaps become slightly complacent after doing so well in the opposing half of the field just a few minutes ago. On their first real defensive situation in their own 22, they've conceded 7 points.
Advantage to Connacht there as the ball went forward off Slade. Connacht with tails up, driving into the Samoan half. Picked out here by Andrew Browne, through the hand of Nikora. On through Wynne to Griffin, and Griffin through McKeon to Monahan, and it's out of play. And the line out, signalled by Michael Black, or Blackie as he's known in rugby circles, the City of Derry man, he had a word or two to say about Ezra Taylor. I think that's what that was about.
Yeah, Owen Griffin is certainly making himself fairly busy. He's shown a great hunger for the work. Okay, playing in the centre of the park, a lot of it coming his way naturally, but he really looks very, very busy every time he gets the ball in his hands.
Well, that was won by second row Browne. It's taken on now by Ezra Taylor, who was in a spot of bother with the referee a moment ago. On now goes Loughney, Ronan Loughney, the loose head prop. Killian Willis, big ball back to Nikora. Nikora looks for the gap, he's found the gap, he's still going, Nikora, and support from Monahan, and the big powerful winger almost there. Willis waits, wider side, Nikora, Griffin, big ball out to the number 8 Taylor. Advantage to Connacht again. They storm forward, they'll want to get to that line regardless of advantage. Gathered in by McKeon, referee says no advantage penalty.
10, never retreated, 10 blue. On the mark if you want to go, right?
Again, remarkably similar, George, to the build-up to Connacht's earlier score. That's on the assumption that they're going to kick this and take the 3 points, which they are.
Captain,
very similar, moving the ball up the right wing into the hands of Monahan, and then moving it back across very quickly, and Griffin putting up the challenge to the Samoan defence.
Well, formality, if there is such a thing, but it's now Connacht 6, Samoa 10, Nikora's 2 out of 2.
Nikora did very well there. Certainly found the space to set up the initial movement down the right. But I was interested in the positioning of the New Zealander, number 3, Barry Flanner Sweeney. Possibly could have been impeding the opposing defence. So we'll wait for further developments on that.
Going in to take that.
It's good.
Back to Nikora. Oh, charged down by Louis, and that's going over the line. He's going into touch, or he's going to get there. He got there. For me, he got there, and that's a try. But no doubt there'll be a word upstairs to Dermot Maloney.
Yeah, my immediate reaction, George, would be that it may have been on the line when he actually got it down. I'm not 100% certain that he did.
Which, of course, puts it out and no try.
Precisely. But then that's the purpose of the TMO, isn't it?
Well, it's Dermot Maloney who's in the truck.
Mind you, it was a fairly obvious block down. Nikora seemed to take all night. That's on the line. That's no try. That'd be my read of it.
Ball is touch and goal. Yes.
There you are.
No try, 22.
Relief for Connacht. Big relief for Connacht.
No.
Serious.
Given the circumstances that led up to it.
Yeah, and
I like it, but I can't.
Maya Nikora will breathe a huge sigh of relief there.
So Louis' try was no try. The touchline is in touch, so touch and go, and a 22-metre dropout, no try. Straight down the middle. Well, that was good swift calling by Dermot Maloney.
Out blue.
The TV truck.
That's fine, it's okay.
Underneath this is Nathan. And Willis gets the ball out. Nikora. An opportunity now for Flavin. And taken on by the left wing Tuohy. Flavin appeal. Tuohy goes after it again to gather it in. Did well to keep himself in play, but eventually the flag shoots up from the hand of Dudley Phillips. It's a line out.
Please leave.
Yeah, the game after 25 minutes, George, is really settling down now. The hits are beginning to go in. There was a very big hit there on Nikora, and there appeared to be something attracting Adrian Flavin's attention as well on the ground. So either way, it's settling down to the type of game we expected.
It's come back to Nikora, taken on by Taylor. Flavin leads the charge of the pack to push him forward. Willis, back it goes then to Nathan, and Nathan thumps it over the last line of defence. The bounce has been relatively kind to Samoa, and no real difficulty for their man Pesamino to send it forward, and Nathan lets it run out of play for the line out to Connacht inside their own 22.
Now, unfortunately, we really haven't seen anything of Pesamino tonight, other than a couple of kicks. He seems to be quite an accomplished tactical kicker. He's put in a few very nice right-footed kicks that have found the target. But the runner that we know he is from his exploits in the World Cup, certainly it'd be great if we could see it, but understandably enough, Connacht aren't kicking a whole lot of ball to him, so we're unlikely really to see any wondrous exploits from him tonight.
That's what I have you. The last ruck, your entry is in the side. Didn't matter. Just be careful. The one over here, you're in.
Poor fella's hurt, and the referee's giving him a hard time.
Yeah, be quicker in the treatment here if he's in there. Okay. Okay, let's go.
Andrew Flavin, the captain.
Time on.
Getting a bit of an earful there from John Lacey, but I don't know whether it was for himself personally or for one of his team. I think it was in relation to the prop, very famous Willie.
Small one. Bernie Upton again. Nikora trying to find a way out. Back then to Nathan. Got a big boot on him. Hasn't found the touch. Pesamino. A little Gary Owen, little kick over the top. Oh, and he's going to run here, and he's got the legs of Tuohy. Pesamino against Tuohy, and Tuohy gets the touchdown.
Yeah, Tuohy did very well there. He knew his only chance was to get in front of the flying Samoan and stay in front of him, and he managed to do that. Otherwise, would have been quite a spectacular individual try from the 10-metre line.
Blood sub Ali, 8 green.
Brian Tuohy, left wing, local lad, making his first appearance of the season for Connacht. Oh, night to do that. Meanwhile, they've had to withdraw their number 8, Ezra Taylor, for blood reasons. So there'll be a blood substitution.
I think this, John Muldoon coming on there, coming on as a blood replacement. Very much a cult hero around these parts, and will be interesting to see whether he's left on the field and somebody else taken off when Ezra Taylor comes back.
Well, your question was answered 27 minutes until he was reduced. 2 caps from Muldoon the summer of 2009 against Canada and the United States, and released from the squad, the senior squad, for some game time, which he's now getting. But he's up against Samoa here, and it's taken on by Timoteo, the try scorer. Back out it goes again, but the ball is out of play. Setu couldn't retain the possession. It's gone into touch, but it's gone forward, so the scrum was the decision.
Yeah, the mishandling there at the very end by Timoteo really went for nothing. The pass to him was forward from our friend Pesamino at full back, but the game is breaking up a little now. We're seeing much more open running from the Samoans, and this is where they're at their most dangerous. So Connacht will need to be on their mettle big time in defence, and need to ensure that there's no loose ball to be snapped up by the Samoans.
Well, that was very untidy, and the referee thought so too, so he's called for a repeat of the scrum.
It's gone down, we can't play that scrum. Let's have it again. Time to do that. You get your body up. No. But I can't touch you. Is that clear?
Yeah, John Lacey continuing his dialogue with the Connacht captain there.
Touch. Pause. Engage. Get your body up, one.
Samoans with the scrub on, so Connacht put the pin of their collar to hold that steady. Killian Willis has got it out, and Nikora can now fire it across to Nathan. And Nathan to Monahan, taking it a standing start, but trying to charge a way through, which he's done really well there. Managed to keep moving forward. That's remarkable strength being shown by Shane Monahan. Back from Willis to Nikora again, and this time the Gary Owen is hoisted high. Hasn't gone forward. It's McComish into the hands of Bernie Upton, and now Ronan Loughney. And Loughney running like a sprinting centre, more like a loose head prop. Nikora, the men outside here, Muldoon being one of them. There again, picked up by Tuohy. Better, McComish. Connacht attacking with flair into the Samoa 22. And they've won the advantage. Samoa have infringed and tried to keep them at bay. Willis, Nathan, Muldoon. Still playing advantage, Connacht. Willis, Loughney. And they weren't getting anywhere in the referee's view. And for not releasing, Connacht get another penalty. 4 points adrift, so they go for the 3 to reduce the margin to 1 at this relatively early stage, just half an hour gone.
I would agree with you, George. Keep the scoreboard ticking over. And the referee now calling the Samoan captain in for little tete-a-tete.
Had a word. As prepared to release. No more use a card. Is that clear?
Interesting warning. That's the first time the word card has been used this evening, and the Samoans now on notice. But great big piece of play there by Shane Monahan on the Connacht right wing. Really big, strong lad, and he showed there that he's well able to put it all to the very, very good use and put the Samoans back on their heels and gave Connacht some real impetus there from which they could move forward.
So Maya Nikora to attempt to add a third penalty to bring Connacht to within a single point. Yes. Connacht 9, Samoa 10.
Yeah, and a fair reflection of the play, really. Samoans got the one try. Connacht's 3 penalties kept them in touch nicely. It's a very, very evenly balanced game, but it's settling down now. And as I said earlier, the Samoan broken play running is something that Connacht have to be very careful to guard against.
Still in the lead, but down to a single point. McComish. And Willis. And Monahan's there to make life difficult for the scrum half. And there he is again. Poluleluligaga. Pesamino in the hands of Helleur. Kick and chase, straight at a touch while on the bounce. But maybe that's what they were looking for, but it will be a Connacht throw.
Yeah, that would have to go down as almost a turnover. It was quite unnecessary kick by Helleur, and what it has done, all it has done is really given Connacht, or what should be clean possession from their own line out, and an opportunity to build from here.
Beautifully taken by Upton in the middle. Nikora. McComish, it was a poor pass, pick it off his toes, but he's managed not to knock it forward, so Connacht still in possession. Willis and Nikora can't kick directly for touch because it was thrown back inside with a pass into the 22. It's now with Otto. Oh, he got through those 2 tackles rather easily, and this is the Samoans on the run. Oh, until he lost his footing. But they didn't cover themselves in glory, the Connacht midfield there. Back goes Griffin. Under pressure right on his own line.
Let it come, Blue! Go look. Ball is there, no hold. Stay outside your off. Back foot, Blue.
Willis relieving the pressure. A good kick. Taking play outside 22, but a quickly taken throw, and it's now with Otto. Otto still finding it difficult to put him down.
Not out.
Advantage to Samoa, but they're going to get a try anyway. It's not going to matter. 5 more to Samoa. Connacht stretched there, and the try scored by the other wing forward, Selesele.
Not out.
Yeah, it has to be said, very, very poor defence there. Came clean through 3 Connacht players. Identified, obviously, 3 forwards. He had a goal. Number 8 missed his tackle. And in they go. Just what Connacht didn't want to concede. Having pegged the Samoans back to 1 point, they now find themselves 8 points down. And again, the broken play situations is from where the Samoans are building. All their dangerous moves are coming from broken play. And the last couple of minutes, particularly from Otto here on the right wing, he has really tested Connacht.
Another try conceded. Two goals and a penalty. And the break is by Willis. Monahan inside that Samoan 22. Willis, Loughney. Want to get turned the wrong way there. Willis, Nikora, and swept on through the hands. Here's Griffin. Griffin for Nathan. Nathan for the corner. Lovely pass inside it too. He's going to score. Terrific try. Brilliant by the full-back, putting in the played for the wing, and that's just the response that Connacht wanted.
Yeah, the best try of the night, I think, without a shadow, without beautiful hands from Troy Nathan. And it has to be said too, Owen Griffin did very well, beautifully timed pass to Nathan, but his inside flick back into Brian Tuohy was out of the top drawer, and Tuohy able to come over to very much within striking range for Nikora, and with a bit of luck that will be back now to a 1-point margin.
Super try. They were all involved, from Nikora to Aidan Wynne to Owen Griffin, the support on the outside for the fullback Troy Nathan. And for me, that was the key to the move, that pass flick back inside when he could so easily have ended up in touch.
Yeah, the timing of that was exquisite, and a beautiful skill with the. It looked like one hand put it back into Tuohy.
Oh, has that made it? It has. And so it is back to 1 point, 4 out of 4 for Nikora, and it's Connacht 16, Samoa 17. That's just the response that Eric Elwood would have wanted from his team.
Just the response Eric would have wanted, and also the crowd here in the sports ground. There's an excellent crowd for a Tuesday night here. Plenty of youngsters, and they're really beginning, you can hear them really beginning to get behind Connacht now.
So just a couple of minutes or so to half time. We've got the number 8 Ezra Taylor back on bandaged up. Did Muldoon make way? I think we better see the forwards on their feet before we decide whether or not he has withdrawn again. Killian Willis. Oh, that's gone back. Daniel Leo. And now it's with Helleur. Popped up for Chad Slade. This is Mulipola. Oh, good hands by Samoans. It's now with their left wing Sinoti. But equally stout defence, Connacht have got the tail up here, and they've thrown that over with a piece of adroit football. Flavin with a burst to the side to assist the procuring of the possession. And Connacht got it back, and they've now ended up with a line out. And it does look like Muldoon has gone back off again.
It does very much. I don't see him anywhere. Eric Elwood obviously happy with what's going on. Happy with the makeup of his back row. Owen McKeon, the academy player, Mike McComish, and Ezra Taylor, and he's keeping Muldoon in reserve. But certainly Connacht, the confidence is coming into their game all the time. Unfortunately, their defence in broken play, their first up tackling, has let them down on a few occasions, and has allowed Samoa into a position that they probably, on the balance of play, don't really deserve. But the crowd getting behind Connacht, it's a typical sports ground evening now, and Connacht, I would think, sense a scalp here.
Back from Taylor through the hands of Nikora. Oh, Griffin, he's a tough lad to put down too.
12, keep rolling. 100.
Nikora, Tuohy. Great drive again from Connacht, and the ball is there for Willis. And Willis put back inside to set up another platform. Willis again. Connacht still, that's Flavin, almost at the Samoa 22. It's likely to be the last attack of the game. And unfortunately for them, Ronan Loughney is penalised. It's going to be a penalty to Samoa, which should be the last kick of the half.
Yeah, pity there. Looking at Killian Willis again, he's probably more suited to Ballybrit than to the sports ground, George. But he's a first cousin of Brian O'Driscoll, and in that little passage of play there, he showed a lot of the qualities of O'Driscoll. Absolutely no shirking of the physical confrontation and putting his body on the line with great determination.
Well, Connacht ended the half on the up, but as the scoreline shows, they're a point behind, but they have one try to Samoa's two. An intriguing second half to come. We'll take a break with first half analysis right thereafter.